Part 1. The Shadows of London, 1961. In the dead of a fog-laden night, when London's gaslit streets whisper secrets of long-forgotten crimes, a single voice breaks through the silence, a voice that tells of betrayal, brutality, and a hidden empire of underworld dealings. It is 1961, and the stage is set for a sinister saga. A mysterious figure, one of 8 unnamed protagonists chosen by fate, embarks on a mission that will forever scar the city's soul. Under the relentless drizzle and amid the dim glow of street lamps, Harold Cartwright, a notorious crime lord with eyes as cold as the steel of his weapons, commands his minions with a voice that brooks no defiance. The mission is simple yet chilling. Infiltrate the enemy's territory, plant bombs in the hideouts of rival gangs, and ignite a firestorm of vengeance. Every step is fraught with peril, every decision laden with the weight of inevitable bloodshed. The player, now the silent agent of chaos, must navigate the maze of narrow alleys, dodging the gaze of watchful enemies and the pulse of an unyielding city. As the protagonist alights from his vehicle into the murk of a desolate hideout, the thudding of his heart merges with the distant rumble of vengeance. The task is set in motion, a single, calculated explosion that ripples through the criminal underbelly. In one violent sweep, rival gangs are forced to confront one another. Rivalries that have simmered in the darkness finally burst into a ferocious turf war. The city, already steeped in grime and deceit, now finds itself a battleground where loyalties shatter like glass under the weight of ambition. The air vibrates with tension as the voice on the radio crackles with instructions, a mix of clinical detachment and hidden menace. Your cover is blown, it warns, before directing the agent to seek out Jack, an enigmatic figure whose words are as cryptic as they are commanding. With a hint of menace that hangs in every syllable, Jack urges the player to gear up with an armored vest, a silent promise that the night will be long and unforgiving. And so, with grim determination, the player sets forth into the labyrinthine streets of West Brixton, where every corner may conceal an enemy and every shadow might hide a betrayal. Not long after the first mission, the stakes escalate. As the protagonist's hands grow calloused from violence, the narrative twists into a treacherous game of cat and mouse. Gang leaders, now aware of the intricate setup, begin to tighten their grip on their territories. A chance encounter in a grim alleyway turns into an all-out brawl. Bullets fly like cursed blessings, and as the carnage unfolds, the player must track down survivors, each a remnant of a past decision, each a living testament to the chaos instigated by Harold's order. There is no rest in this realm of darkness. A high-profile target emerges, a prominent gambler known only as Mr. Cock-and-Balls. In a macabre twist of fate, the protagonist finds himself tasked with protecting this man, whose very existence seems to invite misfortune. The mission spirals into a deadly rescue, abductions, frantic chases through rain-slicked streets, and the constant threat of ambushes by rival factions who covet both power and profit. Every moment drips with suspense as our silent anti-hero races against time, with explosions marking the passage of an unforgiving hour. Yet even as the night rages on and the score of enemies mounts, there is an undercurrent of deception that laces every encounter. A momentary reprieve is shattered when a covert recording reveals a damning secret, one that implicates not only the gangsters on the street but the unseen puppeteers orchestrating this vast web of treachery. In a chilling twist, the protagonist is forced to eliminate those who might expose the carefully constructed facade. The lines between friend and foe blur, and as the body count rises, the city's dark heart beats faster, echoing the relentless pulse of violence. Every bomb planted, every shot fired, every life taken is a step deeper into a realm where trust is as fleeting as the flicker of a neon sign in a storm. In this world, the city itself becomes a living, breathing accomplice, a witness to every misdeed, every betrayal, every act of calculated savagery. As the night finally gives way to a cold, unforgiving dawn, the stage is set for an even more sinister chapter. The call from across the ocean beckons our protagonist to leave behind the rain-soaked streets of London for a new, equally treacherous land. Part 2. The dark underbelly of the New World. In a stark and abrupt transition, the protagonist is whisked away from the shadowy corners of London to the blistering, sun-drenched streets of Vice City. A place where the American dream is nothing more than a glittering illusion draped in sweat and blood. It is here that the legacy of treachery finds new soil, fertile for the planting of seeds that will bloom into chaos. The narrative shifts to a time when the echoes of London's despair still reverberate, yet the atmosphere is charged with the promise of unbridled ambition and a brutal contest for supremacy. Now, the player is caught in the crosshairs of the infamous Crisp twins, a pair of merciless masterminds whose orders are as unpredictable as they are absolute. With a cool detachment, they dispatch the protagonist to steal a mod scooter from central Chelsea, a seemingly simple task that soon spirals into an intricate ballet of deception and violence. Every alley and every neon-lit boulevard pulses with danger in Vice City. The agent finds himself in a landscape where every smile conceals a dagger, where every whispered conversation may be the prelude to a deadly ambush. Harold's influence is still felt, a ghost from the past whose legacy weaves into the new order established by the Chris twins. The narrative unfolds like a dark fable. Betrayal lurks behind every corner, and trust is a commodity more expensive than gold. In one particularly harrowing episode, the protagonist is forced to confront the vile machinations of Chalky, a treacherous operator whose antics threaten to derail the twins' grand designs. Under a merciless sun, the player embarks on a desperate quest to track down the elusive Chalky, venturing into the seedy underbelly of Soho. There, amid crumbling buildings and flickering streetlights, the truth emerges. Drugs intended to lure down the battery mods have been stolen, and the entire balance of power teeters on a knife's edge. As the tension mounts, the narrative twists with the inevitability of a landslide. In a high-octane sequence that defies both logic and mercy, the protagonist is forced to escalate the conflict. A meeting on a rickety rooftop turns into a blood-soaked free-for-all as the rival gang, bitter, vengeful, and armed to the teeth, clashes with the forces of the Chris twins. In a flash of brilliance and brutality, the player wipes out entire crews with ruthless efficiency, the roar of engines and the staccato crackle of gunfire punctuating every moment. But the world of Vice City is not solely defined by its violence. It is a place where alliances are forged in the heat of battle and then shattered by the cold calculus of self-interest. As the protagonist becomes ever more entangled in the web of crime, whispers of a grander scheme begin to surface, a conspiracy so vast that even the most